Hi, and welcome again to another episode of The Consistency Queen. My name is Elsa Morgan. Thank you for being here. Today, we're going to be talking about how to improve your confidence and increase your sales when you're talking to prospective clients. And one of the reasons why I want to, do this episode is because I field a lot of inquiries from women with how they should be increasing their sales. How can they grow their business without, feeling pushy, or they're feeling like they're forcing a decision, or feeling like, they're being spammy or anything to that effect. So I'm going to be offering a strategic style training over the next few episodes. So then that way people can implement some tactical strategies that hopefully will improve and increase their sales over time. And today is all about improving your sales confidence, your ability to be able to not only have conversations with your prospective clients, but also be able to confidently close as well. Now, let me tell you, once you get some key metrics, key things in play, the selling component becomes a little bit more easier. Okay, so I have an exclusive program called the Inner Circle, the Six-Figure Inner Circle, which is a mentorship for high-achieving women wanting to scale beyond six figures. And one of the key things that we do a deep dive on is their vision and getting clear on their business, but also we get clear on their personal brand, which leads into their branding, marketing, and sales strategy. And so when you understand how to market yourself, when you understand how to market your offer, and also how to speak to your ideal avatar, the selling piece, meaning when you're having conversations with your prospective clients, that becomes a little bit more easier. I have found that when I did not pay attention to my marketing, when I didn't have a strategy, when I didn't know who I was talking to, and I was literally just marketing myself to everybody, the selling bit was hard. And I felt like I was constantly convincing people and constantly following up. And yet, even though I had results, and yet I had proven client testimonials and client wins, people were just not opting in. And that's because I wasn't showcasing clearly what it was that I was doing, how it was that I was helping people, how it was that my own personal journey transformed as a direct result of me doing the things that I am actually coaching. And when I started doing that, and I have a very specific framework to market that, the selling piece was a hell of a lot simpler and easier, less convincing, more confirming, and more closing. So today I want to give you 4 tips that are going to help. It's a starting point to help you to not only develop confidence around sales and not feel like you're being this pushy salesperson, but the idea is that you apply this over time to get better at your sales conversations, better at your sales technique. Because let's face it, sales is a skill. It is a skill. And one of the things that I believe that a lot of high-achieving females, when they first start building their business and then they get excited about potentially scaling to 6 figures and beyond, is they fail to recognize that sales is a skill. It does require you to develop sales mastery, meaning that you are going to get better over time. If you apply yourself, you are going to get better at asking questions. You're going to be better at asking closing questions. It is really about you offering a transformation, a customer experience, the possibility of your prospective client to come into your world and then experiencing all the things that you've experienced, and also your clients as well. This is a transformation that you're offering, and that is essentially what sales is. An opportunity for your prospective clients to experience something. And if you're not viewing sales as that, this is probably one of the reasons why you're not selling or you're not having any sales, is because you're seeing it for the outcome, which is a paycheck. And really that is really making you salesy. If you're looking at sales as just the paycheck and just the outcome, that's what makes you salesy. But sales is not that. Sales is, of course, it is about, the sale per se and earning a paycheck and income, etc., etc. But it's more than that. It is essentially, you would not be there unless you were offering something of value and something that is meaningful for somebody. And when you keep that in mind, and you keep in mind what it is that they're experiencing right now and where they want to move away from, and potentially where they're going by opting into your world, and you constantly keep that in mind, you will understand the whole fear, limitations, and possible questions that prospects have in mind when they're having conversations with you. And you really need to slow down to speed up, to be really to get really clear on what it is that they're afraid of, or what it is that they're wanting to achieve, or what it is that is holding them back from going all in. But so many people miss this point. So many people just want to understand why they're not opting in straight away. And, here's the thing though. If you're someone that is scaling to 6 figures, or even beyond 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, one of the things that you fail to recognize is that you are personally developed. Even though you may not be where you want to be, or you're not yet the version that will achieve all the things, you are still potentially developed mindset-wise in terms of understanding of limiting beliefs, understanding how to negate that inner chatter, how to carry yourself, how to manage your energy, your mindset, your emotional mastery, more than most people in the world. Like I would probably guess at around about more than 98% of the world. Because most people don't even understand what personal development is. And that's because of, the system, the industrial revolution system that, big companies are still trying to hold on to. In this digital world, in the digital landscape, personal development is a very common buzzword term. And we know what it is, and we practice it, and we do it every single day. When we're talking to individuals en masse, most people don't read personal development books. They're probably watching, the latest run of the most popular show on TV. So you're expecting them to be making a decision based on your ability to make a decision. And that simply doesn't happen. So you need to first, remove your expectation of what should happen, and really step into the role of an advisor, of someone that is there to simply provide an opportunity for them to transform. Provide an opportunity for them to shift from where they are into a better outcome, a better opportunity, more money, feeling better, more confidence, something to that effect. And so by you placing these expectations on people that simply don't have the capacity to make decisions like you, you are sabotaging your own trajectory, and you really need to understand that. And so if you're someone that wants to do better in sales, you need to embrace the whole notion that you're not really there to sell. You're there to offer a transformation. You are there, and your program, product, and service is there because it generates results for people. It generates results for them in terms of lifestyle, income, health, wellness, mindset, business. And once upon a time, that was you. And you had fears and limitations and uncertainty and feeling like, what does this all mean in my world? And that's where they are right now. And so when you're entering into a commercial conversation with someone, you always need to go in with okay, here is where I need to ask as many, clarifying questions as I can to confirm in my mind where they are right now, and ask some maybe thought-provoking questions for them to help them to start understanding the possibility that this could happen for them. So one of the ways that that you should, or you can, increase your confidence in sales is, number one, I want you to shift your whole mindset around sales. A lot of people go, I don't sell. I share, because they don't want to be seen as a salesperson. Let me tell you, if you own a business, you're selling. Let's just get clear. Like, stop with the whole buzzword thing. Stop with trying to make it something that it's not and fit into a box that makes you feel comfortable. You sell. You sell because you are offering an opportunity to somebody. Okay, so the minute that you start embracing that your whole business incorporates a sales component, then you'll start appreciating it for what it is. And it's a high paying skill that could potentially change your life if you give it focus. You need to understand that sales is a skill and requires you to get better at it if you want better results. It requires you to ask questions, so then that way you understand exactly where this potential client is. But more importantly, is this client the right fit for you? Because the more that you understand that not everybody is for you, and you start asking questions to probe if this client is for you, you're going to have a better business, a more robust business, and less attrition in your programs or with your products or your services, whatever it is that you offer. So shift your perspective around sales. Understand that it's a necessary component in business, that without sales, you don't have a business. You have a hobby, because sales is a part of the commercial component of any business. And the fact that people want to just change the word so that way it doesn't seem so whatever is laughable. I'm proud of the fact that I can sell and that I have the ability to sell, because I'm offering the opportunity to people to change their life. If I didn't place attention to sales as a technique, as a skill that offers me the opportunity to articulate a transformation to a potential client, imagine the opportunity loss for myself, for my vision, for my business, for thousands upon thousands of women who have entered my program. And so number one, shift your narrative around sales. You're not there to convince, you're there to transform. If you find yourself convincing and literally trying to influence in the sales conversation for people to make a decision, you haven't done a very good job of articulating what it is that you're doing in your marketing. Because sales is really about confirming. When you're in the sales conversation, people are pretty much 80% sold on what it is that you're doing if you've done your marketing right. Now, that's not to say that your marketing is going to be on point all the time, because literally with marketing, you are in testing phase every single time that you put some marketing out there. But by and by, you should know who it is that you're speaking to, so you won't be that much off the mark. However, if you find yourself constantly having to convince and repeat exactly what it is that you're doing, your marketing needs a little bit of a shift, and maybe more in alignment in terms of language and also positioning to speak to your audience the way that they're going to understand it. So that way they raise their hand and want to have a conversation with you. You need to focus on the outcome and the transformation that your program is likely to give potential clients versus what it is that you offer. When you speak more about the potential, the results, the outcomes that your clients are experiencing or what they're likely to experience, you have a greater opportunity for them to opt in, because it's okay for you to be experiencing, but in their mind, you're a unicorn. You're probably unrelatable, and that's what makes them nervous. But if you have other people that are, that have started somewhat not that far from where they are right now or at the same spot, and they're moving along, then suddenly they see the possibility and they start believing that that's possible for them too, right? And then you also have to believe in what you do, because your energy will transfer. The amount of women out there that lack belief and then wonder why their sales are not, improving, or they're not really going anywhere, is staggering. And that's not a criticism; it's an observation, because if you're lacking belief, this is seen. People see this. People feel this, right? And if you're feeling any form of doubt, you start here. Start here. And by the way, we are not born as 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs. We become them. So the belief is not going to be there from the get-go. So give yourself some credit that you're in business and you're in here wanting to work on yourself and develop yourself to become the person to achieve a 6-figure plus business. In saying that though, if you're lacking belief, this is probably one of the big reasons why your sales aren't moving. You need to really work on seeing yourself as achieving the results, seeing yourself as someone that can be the person that's going to lead people to their results. And, if you were to connect the dots, look back and connect the dots and look at all the things that you have overcome, all the things that you've achieved, you'll realize that you are way more capable than what you give yourself credit for. And so belief is super important because that will transfer. Your energy transfer, your ability to influence is super important. In fact, it's one of the big stats that came out of Meta's poll last year when it polled all of, I think over 15,000 respondents. The ability to influence was one of the key buying decision metrics. And that comes from belief in self. So make sure that you have worked on your belief and you have a belief system to work on that every single day. I do. I have results and I still work on my belief every single day because my vision is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But I still work on that belief system because this is all programming and you are evolving into that version that achieves all the things. So that's point number 1, is really get clear on your perspective and, on what sales is, and fall in love with it, because without it, you don't have a business. Okay. Number 2, the best way to sell right now in the digital landscape as a high achieving female wanting to build their business by themselves, for themselves, and having this vision to scale beyond that is through storytelling. This is because storytelling allows the audience to connect with your journey, connect and put themselves in the journey as well. This is how they can start painting pictures in their mind, which when that happens, you know that you're onto something really, really good and positive. And so this is important for you to understand, that taking people through your own personal experience should be part of your marketing strategy, where you are showcasing to people where you once were, the decisions that you made, all the experiences along the way, and where you are right now. That without those decisions, without those setbacks along the way, without everything that had led you to this point, you wouldn't be where you are. So that way they understand the kind of possibility that is available for them. You can also share through storytelling for your own client testimonials, their own success. Where did they start? What was the decision they made? What were some of the things that they experienced? What were their personal breakthroughs? And then their success that's come out of that, simply because they locked arms with you, or they tried your product, or they've opted into your service. And as a direct result of that, their life has completely transformed, or their mind shifted, they lost weight, something to that effect. And again, this helps your audience to connect with the journey of what you're sharing. And the last thing that I would say, it's a really good tactic to showcase when you're doing storytelling, the before picture. Meaning, like, talk through the emotions, really help them to get connected with a journey through emotions that they could probably relate to right now, but then also talk to them about the possibility and the emotions around that, what you felt, what your clients felt, where they were, where they are right now, and how their life has changed, and how happy and excited and over the moon they are that they have achieved these results. And without storytelling, it's going to be very challenging in this day and age for you to have connection with your audience. And again, this is also one of the top buying behavior metrics that people look for. They look for connection when they're wanting to buy from someone in the digital world. Connection is super important, which is why you need to embrace tactics that are going to help you to develop that. And storytelling is one of the best ways right now. Number 3, A really good way to improve your confidence in sales is to generate more sales. So the more that you do this, the more that you're going to get better at it. And one of the ways that I have definitely done this is basically create urgency with people and doing it in a non-pushy way, but literally creating urgency so that people move and opt in, because most of the time, people are wanting to say yes, but they're just scared. So what if you give them a limited time opportunity, something that will force them to move? And so it's literally like you're pushing them over the ledge, simply because you've offered them some sort of incentive for them to take up the offer right now before they start overthinking, right? And so here are 3 things that you can do when you are wanting to offer or create urgency. Is number 1, you can say that there's limited spots. So there's limited opportunities left for them to take up at this particular price point or this particular product or this particular service. So they need to act now. Or if there's a deadline or anything like that because the program is starting, they need to act now. So that's one of the ways, right? And saying it in that way is no different to the way that you hear it on, radio adverts or on television. You just have to literally articulate that there are limited spots available, and if they act now, they'll be able to secure it. However, beyond this date, it's no longer available. Very simple. Number 2, you can offer some additional bonuses for people that take action very quickly. So especially if you're launching something new and you're wanting to get traction straight away, a fast action bonus is a very good strategy to implement, where they maybe are able to have an additional program or maybe a strategy call or something to that effect for them to be saying yes within a limited time frame. That is an excellent strategy for them to not think about it and to basically say, yes, I'm in. Especially if you are speaking to somebody over the phone and you're having a commercial conversation, and then you're asking for the sale, and then you add on, if you act within the next 24 hours, you also receive this. That's an excellent way to close more people more often. Okay, always be closing, like they say, and that is a really, really good way. And the fast action bonus is one that you can use in a variety of scenarios. And if you haven't tried it, February is a really good opportunity for you to do it, because the honeymoon phase is over in January. So now is the time where you can get people to be moving and continuing on with whatever goals that they set. And you can offer a fast action bonus for them to opt in. And then one of the other tactical strategies is almost like contrarian type marketing, whereby you bring into the conversation or even into your marketing what will happen if they don't take action. Right? It's like that negative marketing, which is extremely polarizing, but also very effective with people. The risk there is that you don't want to attract negative people, right? But what you are doing is you are bringing forward what the possibility might be if they don't take action. What's the opportunity cost? What's the opportunity loss for your market if they don't take action now? Because if, for example, I have used before that, if people don't opt into my inner circle program, it is at this price point, but from this day onwards, it's this. So there's an opportunity cost by not taking action. And is very, very effective, especially with people that are sitting on the fence and really wanting to decide whether they want to go ahead or not. They certainly don't want to miss out. There's this whole psychological FOMO effect, right? And especially if it's other people have taken it up, other people get to experience things, people won't want to miss out. So really amp up the FOMO effect. And the key thing is here, when you're applying any one of these 3 strategies, it is without the push. You're literally just stating that there is a limited time, or there's a deadline, or there's an opportunity cost involved. And that is no different to any other sale, promotion, discount, limited time offer that's out there. Okay, and many of you have responded in this particular way as well. Okay, and then the last thing is to handle objections. Now, here's the thing: when we're handling objections, It's about answering questions. It's not forcing a decision. And I need to make this very, very clear. A lot of people seem to think that when your objection comes up, that you need to force them to think otherwise, or you need to force them to not think that way. The objection comes up because something is not clear for somebody. And so it's merely by a way of questioning something or asking for some clarification. And if you see this as an opportunity to really strengthen the relationship with your prospect and really positioning you as someone that is absolutely certain that this will work, your objection handling will lead you to a sale, will lead you to a new client coming on board. Anytime that somebody asks clarification questions or has an objection, I get excited because here is my opportunity to be able to then overcome that objection and position it in such a way that I get either the truth about what's really behind it, or answer that objection and then go ahead and close, because I've been doing this for so long. But yet, if you look at objections as something that is, they're not going to join, or, they're not going to buy, see, I knew that this was never going to be just a sale. Like, typically most sales don't ever just happen with ease, right? And especially if you're building a service-based business, product-based, e-commerce, is going to be clients that will need questions answered before they buy. They'll either do their own research, or they'll want to have a conversation with someone. So then that way they know in their mind that what they're investing in is exactly for them. And you should be excited that someone is asking you questions, because for me, questions means money. And so objections provides you an opportunity to help them to come on board. It's oftentimes not a real no. And even if it is a no, more often than not, if you handle it in a tactical and tactful way, they will eventually come on board as well. Okay, so the first thing that I would recommend, especially if you have the same kind of objections over and over again, lead from the front and put content out there addressing those objections. Right? Especially if it's like, I can't afford it, I need to speak to my significant other, or I don't have the time. These are all common objections that are really more excuses, because if somebody wants to transform their life and change their life and they're in that much pain, I mean, there is no price that you would pay technically, right? So they're more or less excuses, but they're still an objection, right? So a really effective way is to call it out and put it in content. Whether you do this on long form video, whether you do this in short form, whether you do this as a static post, addressing it front and center is going to help people to understand where you stand and how this will actually help them. And that will eliminate that objection. So you're putting it up front, especially if you're answering any sort of questions, or they need some clarifying or anything to that effect. You'll have more people a lot more certain about whether what you're offering is for them by doing this, right? Number 2 is using testimonials, especially if those testimonials have your clients experiencing what most of your objections are about. So if there was a level of uncertainty, or they didn't have time or anything like that, showcase a client testimonial that had uncertainty or they didn't have time, and how you were able to help them, or whatever it was that you're offering was able to help them regardless of that objection / excuse, right? And so that way, that will nip that in the bud. Like, that eliminates all of that, because front and center, you are addressing that objection and helping them to understand that that doesn't come into play. And then lastly is, if you really want to take it a step further, you can offer them a free call, or you can offer them an opportunity to speak to one of your team, or you might be able to have a predetermined Q&A page where you answer a whole bunch of questions, so then they can walk through all the Q&A section and answer questions, or have their questions answered there as well. So offer the opportunity for further clarification to be done, and you may even answer the questions via Messenger as well. So by doing that, not only is it a lot more personal, but you're allowing the opportunity for said prospect to ask questions. But then with every single question that you have answered, it's a greater opportunity for them to say yes and opt in, right? And so by allowing further clarification to happen and questions to be answered, that's what you're allowing. So be open to that and maybe have a strategy around that. So then that way, you're giving people the opportunity to ask questions and have them answered. So in their mind, they go, okay, well, I'm good then. Yeah. So I hope this has given you the key tactical strategies to help you to build confidence around sales, but also help you to understand, and I said this at the top of the training, is that sales is a skill and it's a necessary part of your business. You can't escape it if you want to make money, especially if you want to develop a 6-figure plus business. Not only do you need to develop a skill in sales, like develop mastery in sales and get good at it, but you also have to pay attention to what it is that your prospects are saying by the way of questions. And you also have to appreciate that is a necessary part of your business. And so the more that you get bigger and you grow more of your business, you will implement sales systems, scripts, for incoming team members that might take on part of the conversations, etc. So whilst you are running solo, potentially, get good at it. Understand what works, trial some questions and get really good at asking closing questions. This is your opportunity to set up the foundations of your business. This is you setting up your sales system. So then that way, when your future sales team comes in, they'll be able to replicate what it is that you're doing. For me, that's an enormous opportunity. Because not only will you be able to understand how you can close the people that you want to work with and be able to identify the people that you want to work with your future sales team coming on board as well, you're going to help them to generate an income and start impacting their lives in a positive way and grow your business even further. So get excited about sales because it has the opportunity to not only transform your clients' lives, your life, and then the expansion of your business as well. This is an opportunity for you to impact. This is an opportunity for you to transfer people from where they are right now to where they want to go. And the more that you see sales in this way, the more you're going to fall in love with it and not see it as something that you're ashamed to do. It is a necessary part of business, and it is something that if you get good at it, and when you get good at it, you will not be stopped, and you'll always be able to bounce back from anything simply because you know how to sell. So I hope this has given you the confidence. I absolutely love it, and I want you to fall in love with it as well. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.